Good. What?
What?
Who?
We'll talk about it in a second.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio right here in Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is Nick behind the glass. It is another fun-filled day of where will Kyrie land next. Well, we'll get into all that in a second because it's annoying at this point because why even pay attention to this garbage if he's just going to stay put? We'll get into it. We'll get into all that. He definitely is. But all right, we will dive in head first very shortly.
Definitely.
If you want to support Chop Sports, do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. $3, $5, $10 increments. Those are the ways to do it. So we appreciate you. As always, I believe Bobby, our former pitcher of our softball team, re-upped or something like that. I did see an email come across that I guess he updated the información, which is information. So now he's supporting once again. So everybody that supports us, we really appreciate it. I did see a couple brand new Let's Effing Go t-shirts get sold yesterday. And I believe that was Johnny Machad and a couple other folks that wanted to get involved. I'm actually wearing it today. So if you want that, chopsports.shop. You can support the brand by doing that. And I also have my Let's Rage t-shirt also for sale.
What's going through your computer?
So what? Well, after I told Nick to make sure all the mics are working, here we are. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Hit the settings, okay? And then you're going to go to audio. And then you're going to go to mic. And then you're going to hit all the way to the top. It should say Rodecaster Pro. You see that? Ba-bam. That should be a thing now. It should be a thing. But appreciate you, Scoop, for coming on in and ruining my morning, as you tend to do. So now I don't know, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
I think we should be good now. It wasn't set, and now it's set to that, correct?
But the problem is there's two of them. There you go. So Scoop said. So in the clutch, Dave.
So what's up, guys? I'm here now. I don't think I had a mic to begin with, so now I'm here. What's up, everybody?
Sorry about that. My bad.
No. As they say on the streets, my bad. So anyway, let's effing go t-shirts now on sale, chopsports.shop. So yeah, the Yankees got another big comeback win. I didn't really watch the game. I didn't have a chance to watch the game. I was here editing for what seems like forever last night. Brand new podcast available right now. I'm very proud of this one. My former student Daniel is on the ones and twos. He's on the mic, and he did a great job yesterday. He's 16 years old. Came on the mic and just really spit some real good fire. In fact, in the same breath,
he had bars.
He did have spit fire. No, he had some bars, and in the same breath, I want to announce formally that Tommy's been fired because he just blew Tommy away. And Tommy gave me the whole boohoo thing last night. And I was like, bro, by the way, this kid's leaps and bounds better than you. Fine, you just use it. I could tell that it burned him. So I'm
confused if this is a work for the Chop Sports Fight Factory or is this a real thing? So stay tuned next week and see if Tommy is
It's a great episode. Nostalgia. I catch up with him. Haven't seen the kid in 3 years. He came yesterday, enjoyed himself. Very polite kid. Met Ash. We went to the bar for lunch, so I didn't get him any underage drinks or anything like that. So that was.
I don't think anybody was expecting that you.
You think I was just one of those guys? Like you think I'm one of those guys that hang outside the local?
This is getting a little
the local
left.
The local liquor store.
Left. No, Dave is not a bum outside the liquor store. Is that what they do though?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. But anyway. So big news coming out of the world of the NBA. Well, before we get into all that, I wanted to bring up my flag, and I forgot all about it. And damn it, there it is, the Chop Sports flag. So anyway, I did want to bring up the news that Kyrie Irving has decided to dupe us all. He had us all right. Everybody's got it's all in your mouth, and we're talking about Kyrie, and now it's nothing. It's a nothing burger, as they say on the streets. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is what pisses me off about guys like Kyrie Irving, Mr. Me, right? Yes.
Dave.
He has all the right to go on Twitter and say, you know what, Woj, or other guy, or checkmark guy over here, what you're saying about me is false. But he doesn't do that because he loves it. He craves it. He wakes up in the morning and says, how can I wash my body with me? Like he's just a me. I don't
think I agree that Kyrie is one of the most selfish players in the NBA, right? Mm-hmm. I almost have respect for him for that more so than I then I dislike him for it at this point because the media sucks. I dealt with the same thing with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not comparing Kyrie and Aaron Rodgers off the court and off the field, although there are some parallels. There definitely are some parallels in terms of the way they conduct themselves, very outside the box in terms of the way they conduct themselves.
Okay.
Kyrie did nothing. He was reported on, essentially, for 2 days back and forth about this is what's happening. A source close to Kyrie. Never once did you see a quote by Kyrie saying, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. He's allowed to use the media for leverage in contract negotiations. Maybe he was trying to negotiate a long-term raise with the Nets and get an extension with the Nets, and him threatening the opt-out was the best way to do it. So who knows? In 2 days, we might see a contract extension, and then it all worked out. But obviously, you say it's over with and that Kyrie is now a Brooklyn Net. He opted in. So as of now, he is. But
as we got some breaking news from Kyle Kerms coming in the studio here. First of all, Kyle Kerms suffered a shoulder injury dating in a quarterback 54 game. MRI was negative. Kerm was placed on a 10-day IR. We knew that already.
That's
bigger news, though.
So bigger news. Be pretending to Kyrie.
Speaking of Woj, yes, right. Woj bomb coming here.
Woj bomb.
11 minutes ago, Los Angeles Lakers star Russell Westbrook is planning to exercise his demons. His $47.1 million option to return to the franchise for the 2022-2023 season. Now, here's my thing with this.
That's what Nick said at the Open, by the way.
Yeah. What? Is that what you said at the Open? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. But okay, sorry. But I will say this. This is a perfect opportunity for a great scenario. And I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. And I mentioned it. I was on the old elliptical today with my boy Greg over at the gym. And we were talking about destinations for Kyrie if this thing would actually happen. It's an even swap. Make everybody happy. Ready? This is my offer if I'm the Lakers. If I really want Kyrie Irving, this is my offer. Russell Westbrook and a first rounder for Kyrie Irving. Straight up swap. Westbrook goes back to play with KD. Irving comes back to play with LeBron.
Two things. I don't know that what the Lakers draft capital is right now because they mortgaged a lot to get AD.
A bunch of picks.
So I don't know that they have a pick coming up.
Straight up wouldn't happen.
But 47 mil to 37 mil. So there's definitely a discrepancy in terms of the contract. They would have to figure it out with another player to make it work. Getting this news, like I was about to sit here and say the Kyrie news isn't necessary. The Kyrie story is not over with the Lakers just yet. Russell Westbrook opting in might kind of make it a little bit more difficult, but I still don't believe for a fact that Russell Westbrook will be a Laker and Kyrie will be a Net. I'm not saying that neither one will or they both will. I'm saying something still could potentially happen, but I don't think it's likely that they'll get traded for each other. I don't know that I would see KD co-sign that at this point.
Well, I got a text from the big deal.
How crazy would that be to reunite LeBron and Kyrie with a trade to reunite?
What did I just say?
No. But like I'm actually sitting here. They're both former teammates. I don't know.
That's what I just said. I said it was a scenario where I'm like, everybody gets their former guy.
I wasn't paying attention at that point. I was probably processing something else.
The bubbles, the thought bubbles were going. But yes, dude, I think that would be a nice little gesture. If Kyrie wants to go play with LeBron again, sure, but make sure you send Russ back to Brooklyn. But again, does KD have approval? I guess
KD better get approval.
I mean, why would he not?
What are we talking about?
Why would he? How did they? All right, so I'll ask you this. I know that KD left the Thunder to go to the Lakers and win a championship, right? That was a bad breakup, I'm assuming, with Westbrook and KD. Like there had to be some hostility that I'm not staying here. I need to go to win a championship elsewhere. There was unfinished business in Oklahoma City.
There was probably some hostility, but at the end of the day, I think all the guys in the NBA understand that it's a business. So while you might feel offended, I don't think there's any like KG Paul Pierce offended where they like hated Ray Allen for going to the Heat. I don't think there's really that aspect of the NBA going on anymore. I think guys are kind of over it. They understand that everybody has their own career path. And while you might feel offended, you have to look back and be like, all right, I might be in the same spot in a year and do the same exact thing. So I don't think that when you say, do they run it by KD? They have to, because KD the news is that KD wants to stay in Brooklyn, but that could change in a flash too, because I've heard multiple conflicting reports over the last 3 days about that as well.
Incredible.
So
these hoes ain't loyal.
The Woj bomb, you name it, all these guys, they're just, the draft coverage was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was rough.
Back and within 3 minutes of each other, tweets that are contradicting each other. Same thing with the NBA offseason so far. But the NBA offseason has been lit so far. So far.
That's cool.
So
to the
far,
youngins.
so far. I said so far like 13 times. That's the new phrase today. What
So
was
far,
it?
yesterday was bona fide.
Bona fide.
John Wall signed with the Clippers. He's going to sign with the Clippers after his buyout's done. So Wall heads to LA as well. So there's two guys with LA ties that are heading over to Hollywood. But
John Wall played. I think John Wall's played like 4 games in 4
I used
years.
to love John Wall.
He was a fantastic Wizards player.
That's
but
what I'm
after
saying. Like
that-
when he first came around, it was like, wow, this guy's really fun to watch. And they were just like, I don't know, if something happened where he became not fun to watch.
Injuries.
Yeah, I guess injuries happen.
He's like Ray Felton now. He's like
Ray Felton,
a little chonky
now.
king.
So here, I love Ray Felton. I bring this up because Craig hit me up. Craig Steele, right? Big Brooklyn guy, right? He's always gonna just take the dagger, try to stab and twist when it comes to me and my Knicks fanhood. And I'm not about to get into the Knicks. Yeah, I guess I am, because he said that the price tag for a guy like Brunson is going to be $100 million, meaning a $25 million a year type thing for 4 years. That to me is an absolute eyewear overpay. Like that's going to be the cost.
There's no
of a guy like Brunson.
But
The overpay, I know you're going to say there's no such thing as an overpay in the NBA when you only have to pay 12 guys.
There is an overpay, but when you're looking at the NBA contracts, like that's pretty much on par. He's going to get that in free agency, whether it's from the Knicks or somebody else. You get what I'm saying? Like there's the contracts in the NBA are massive. They're just massive. So when you're seeing it, you're used to comparing it to the sport that we are used to, which is football, and they're just bigger. Evan Fournier making $17 million a year. That's like he would be like the 3rd highest paid defender in football.
Correct. But
he's average.
I know.
He's like a decent player.
The way I see this, dude, I don't know. I with all the sign and trade, there was another trade you were talking about, something going on with San Antonio, right?
Yeah,
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray for John Collins. They've been talking about this for a little
straight
bit.
Up swap.
I don't know. I'm not sure the details. I'm sure there's going to be even maybe another team involved if it actually goes through, because this is something that they had steam before the draft, and I think both teams kind of took a back seat and let things play out in the draft. Both guys are still on the team that they were on, and both guys are trying to be moved by their respective teams. So it makes sense. I think DeJounte Murray is a way better player, just inside out wing. He could do it all. John Collins is good, but I think it'll make the Hawks a lot better defensively.
Ken Paulman said there's no shot that Westbrook handles New York. He couldn't handle Oklahoma City. So there's something to that. There's definitely an aspect of handling New York, and I think Kyrie is feeling the effects of this. Kyrie has always been in big cities. Cleveland is technically a big city ever since LeBron got there. They grew, right? So like that was a big city. Boston's a big city. So the teams that Kyrie Irving has attended and played for, they are big market teams. I don't know if he was ready for the New York media, because this is like borderline ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, it was also a perfect storm with the whole COVID situation.
I was going to say, the type of shit that he pulled, you would expect the New York media to roast him. But the
type of shit that the state of New York pulled.
Oh, yeah, I blame the state over Kyrie on that.
No, that part, yeah.
There was visiting players that were coming to the Barclays Center and playing in games that weren't vaccinated, and Kyrie wasn't allowed. That was garbage.
Agree.
He was sitting in the front row without a mat. Like the whole thing was dumb. That whole thing, and that's not even why I don't like Kyrie Irving. For what he stood for, I'm all for that. Actually, I'm all for like, hey man, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do it my way. Fine. But like, I'm talking about the birthday shit. I'm talking about all that other garbage that he's all of a sudden, change religions. All of a sudden, there's a religious holiday on the calendar. You can't practice. There's just so much stuff that goes with Kyrie Irving that's why I said to myself, if he becomes a Knick, I don't want nothing to do with this team. And now it won't happen. So now I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. I'm a happy guy now that he's not anywhere associated and or linked with the New York Knicks anymore. This whole, Brunson thing, that's another story. There's also another report that I saw right before the show that the Celtics are eyeing Alec Burks. Stay the fuck away. Okay. If I'm going to keep this core group that Kyle Kerms bangs over the head, that these are the youngins, there's no room for anybody else. So then keep them. Don't go trading away these pieces, because then you're going to prove my point that they can't keep anybody in New York and they're just going to ship them off for more draft picks.
With the Celtics, because they've beaten everybody in these trades. If you look at some of the trades the Celtics have pulled off, don't trade with the Celtics, even though Danny Ainge is gone. He was the guy, right? He was the guy that was doing it all.
Who?
He's still in the front office.
Yeah.
I think he retired. Stepped down as
Tim
the
Riley
GM
coming in saying Knicks are saving their money for LeBron and Bronny. Is Bronny his son?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
I mean,
don't think Bronny's gonna.
Can you imagine?
Gonna be that
Oh.
guy?
Now,
But me and Jimmy Palumbo, we're on the same. I would take LeBron, 47 years
First of
old.
all,
in a
I was just gonna
heartbeat.
say you would love Westbrook on the Knicks because he'd put up a triple-double every night. He would play hard every night, and
I mean, Westbrook's
Knicks
not
is
going anywhere anymore unless
I'm
it's a
just
trade.
saying if Westbrook was a Knick and whoever's saying he wouldn't handle New York, I think he'd handle it just fine. I think
What year is Bronny even in school? College?
no.
He's in high school?
Yeah.
he's in high school, but
Christ,
it doesn't matter.
I don't
So
know how fucking long we got for this.
if he's in high school, he's potentially 2 years out.
God, that's scary. Okay.
I don't know what grade he's
LeBron James. Has that ever happened in the NBA? Father-son combo? No,
No.
right?
No.
Baseball, I know it has. Griffey's,
I
right?
don't think so.
At least I know that one.
I don't think
Off the
there's
rip.
ever been any father-son combo in the NBA simultaneously. No.
It would have to be like a guy like James Worthy who played to like 87 and a son of his, but I don't think that's not Worthy. Yeah, Worthy? No. Who am I thinking of? That old center that played for the Lakers. Why can't I think of his name? It might have been Worthy, but like goggles.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I know Kareem.
I mean, that's the guy with the goggles.
No, I know. There was another one. John Sally?
I
Sally.
mean, he's been on every team.
Every team. But I'm saying, like, he was in the movie Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg. He looked like he was 64 years
does he
old.
even have a son?
I don't know, but I'm saying if he did,
He was
could
also
have
in
played
Ace
with him.
Ventura.
John
No,
Sally?
that was Tone Loc.
Let's do it. All right. Anyway, so that is the NBA in a nutshell. It looks like the offseason, as per Gooch, is litty, and it'll get better as we go. So when does free agency start? When's
Thursday.
that fiasco?
Yeah,
What?
it's like basically here.
This week? Yes.
Yeah,
like-
why are you so excited?
I'm excited
gonna-
because it's this
You're gonna
content.
overpay for Jalen Brunson.
We're going to overpay for Jalen Brunson, and I think
or you're gonna try to overpay for Jalen Brunson.
And then
he's
get
gonna,
denied.
he's gonna
Oh,
sign
I
with the
can't,
Mavericks.
I can't wait for the Lakers to just go say they're not going to sign a bunch of veterans, and then 3 weeks into free agency, go sign like
Well, they
every other
dodged the
veteran.
John
Oh
Wall
my
bullet.
God.
They dodged the John Wall bullet because I'm pretty sure they were definitely in on John Wall.
They were going to trade for him. At the
There
trade
was-
deadline.
They
There-
wanted to trade Russ.
They want to trade Russ, and they're I think it was Houston was asking
you're
for
missing
like
this. Keep
4
going.
number 1 picks, and
There
they were like,
was
yeah,
a
no.
father-son combination. LeBron James played with Delonte West.
That is good. Scoop.
No, Ken Paulman.
There we go.
That a
Ken.
boy. Ken coming in with the
I
clutch
have
comment.
I have some little side tidbits before we get into the next topic
Sure,
or
sure.
whatever we're about to do, whether it be live reads. I don't know.
That is
Right?
That is it.
Did anybody see the news about the boxing match that's in the works?
Oh Christ.
So 2 former NFL players, star NFL players,
Mhm.
both played running back in the league. Any guesses? Any guesses?
Yes,
Dave?
it's what you said yesterday. Adrian Peterson versus Le'Veon Bell.
There we go. Adrian Peterson versus Le'Veon Bell. Does anybody think
Unbelievable.
Le'Veon Bell has a chance against Adrian Peterson? He beat his kids. I'm sure he has no problem
with a
beating
switch, nonetheless.
Le'Veon Bell.
What a
Adrian
piece of
Peterson just
shit.
looks like, he could still rush for 1,000 yards in the league. And he probably could in the right situation. I would love to see this fight because Le'Veon Bell just has a punchable face. And AP, while he is a child abuser, good football player, but let's not brush
Piece
over
of
the
shit
fact
person, but go ahead.
that he's a piece of shit. I would like to see Le'Veon Bell get knocked out, or at least maybe knock out AP. We'll see. But I love these kinds of things.
This is
I'm down for
terrible.
the fight.
This is awful.
Calling it
Actually,
right now.
this is dumb.
Adrian Peterson's gonna win in 4 rounds, knockout.
4 rounds knockout. I'm saying it might happen earlier, and they're
I'm
probably
saying this
only going to
fight's not
fight.
even going to happen.
It's
How about
not. It's
that?
going to fight 3 rounds. It'll probably happen. There's
Where
going to
on
be
the
money
next
on the
Jake Paul
table.
card? What are we gonna? What are we doing here?
Oh, Jesus,
Whatever
I
the-
forgot
Why are
about
we doing this?
The next Jake Paul card. Speaking of Jake Paul, Tommy Fury can't get in the country, so that fight's off.
Dude.
Um,
So that's just
a little
poetic.
bit about baseball. New York Yankees are in on the Luis Castillo sweepstakes. I don't think they're going to get him. I think the price will be too high. I do really like Luis
Oh,
Castillo.
I love Castillo, and I think it'd be a
I
fantastic
love the
addition
fact that
to
he's got the
rotation.
fastball changeup combo. I think one of the better changeups in the game. I just think that the price is going to be too high because he's like the premier.
They're going to want
pitching-
Dominguez.
the
They're going to
premier
want all these
pitcher
guys.
available. Which one? Dominguez? No, we're not giving up Dominguez.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to
Yeah.
want our top tier guys. I think.
But it would take a pretty decent package.
Bailey said Bell failed at rapping, so he doubts he'll succeed in boxing.
Yeah, no. And AP is like Adrian Peterson's just a freak of nature. So I think that he
Yeah.
could do anything he put his mind to, boxing being at the very top of the list. Orioles
And then the
have
winner
their-
gets Frank Gore. So we're just
Be
It's
careful.
a tournament here.
Frank Gore will probably dominate either of them because he's been doing boxing a little longer. The first time in the history of this show, and maybe in a decade at that, The Orioles are making headlines, and it's their first winning month since August of 2017. So they concluded a winning month of baseball.
So they haven't had a winning month in 5 years, half a decade.
I think
Bravo.
it's even 6 years. So
Bravo.
But
oh,
it's
yeah,
just,
what
it
is it,
just
15? No,
lends
what
to
was
the
that,
point
7?
that
Who
the
gives a
AL
shit?
East is so good this year.
It's probably because they finally got rid of Chris Davis.
You put some
Probably. They're
respect
definitely
on Crush
still
Davis's
paying him.
name.
Definitely still paying him.
Yeah, no, they're paying for him all right. Not even financially. They're just paying for having him. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, they're still paying for him. You know who's not going to have to be worried about his money in retirement? Crush Davis, because he's getting money here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you guys real quick about none other than the Fusco Agency. Ooh, the paper toss early. The Fusco Insurance Agency, ladies and gentlemen, it's a powerhouse. The guy offers a lot. Are you worried that you're going to run out of money in retirement, or how you'll pay for long-term health care? Will your family be okay? That's the number one thing here, folks. Family. Stop worrying and start planning. A comprehensive retirement plan gives you security for greater control over your money. A comprehensive retirement plan gives you greater control. I read the same line twice. Michael Fusco can help, ladies and gents. As president of the Fusco Insurance Agency, Michael can work with you to create a comprehensive retirement plan. How many times are going to say comprehensive retirement plan? He'll explore using life insurance and annuities to help you build a more secure future, so you can worry a little bit less now. Just call 718-701-5787 to schedule your complimentary consultation. That's 718-701-5787. Guarantees and protections are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company. Some insurance policies are not available in all states. Now, also starting now, you're going to be able to offer your customers, anybody that you help out or on your payroll or whatever, or some expenses, you can now offer them starting at $300 worth of financing if you have a 540 FICO score or above. That's part of the prestigetaxfinancing.com, because this guy does it all. I told you that. So anything money related, go talk to our boy Michael Fusco. He's got it all. Check him out, FuscoInsuranceAgency.com. So, Mr. Gooch,
What's up?
talk about your Gooch.
Yes, head on over to manscaped.com. Use the promo code SHOPSPORTS. They are offering 20% off, free shipping worldwide with the promo code SHOPSPORTS. It's got the Platinum Package. It is a 4.0, right? Platinum Package 4.0. It comes equipped with all the goods you need to keep your balls fresh and clean. It's got the Lawnmower 4.0, equipped with the 400K LED trimmer. It's waterproof. You could take it in the shower. No worries. It's got the Lawnmower, or the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. You got the Crop Razor 2.0 and all the gels and exfoliators for your butt crack. So head on over to Manscaped. Use the promo code SHOPSPORTS.
Sounds good. Sounds absolutely fabulous. As we move into our beloved sport of sports, and that's the NFL.
Yes, finally.
We have ourselves yesterday. We did a fantastic job, bang-up job by both of us, picking some breakout AFC players, and I didn't switch the name on this one, but we both know it's the NFC. So this episode, we'll be diving into the NFC. I would feel like we're a little bit more versed on the NFC, even though we know pretty much everything about everything. And it's not just talking out my ass. I know everything about everything when it comes to football. I feel like in NFC, we see those guys a lot more. So it's a lot easier for us to pick out breakout stars, or even dig a little deeper than we did yesterday. So we will start.
Today, I didn't even do one bit of research. This is completely off the top of my head. So we'll see how it goes.
Oof. I wonder if there are any of them. You know what? If I had to guess, there's 16 teams in the NFC. I want to say
yesterday we talked about it.
What?
Like we said
we did do pre, but we didn't do pre this time.
This whatsoever.
I want to say, if I had, let's set the over under and how many guys we have the same. I want to say the number is going to be very low. I want to say 3. Who's got the takers for the under or the over of guys that we have the same?
3 out of 16. I'm taking the over.
Okay.
Easy.
We'll see. Here we go.
Peeked at my list.
Bet you the first one's a no-go. But anyway, we're going to start with the NFC East and start with the New York Football Giants, which they look like they're going to just they're just primed to have a really good season. And when I say that with the utmost sarcasm. But I do believe that they're going to be improved. It all depends really on Saquon Barkley and how they can get him going. But I will say that, and this is going to be a little bit of a theme ski for me today, the tight ends again. Last year and the last 5 years, or however long Evan Ingram's been playing football, he came into the league and he didn't remember how to catch, which is weird because as a tight end, you kind of want that skill set. Give me Ricky Seals-Jones, the brand new tight end for the New York Football Giants, as the breakout star because the wide receivers stink. Galladay sucks. Tony's an asshole. And I just feel like Daniel Jones is going to have to look underneath a lot. And there's going to be Ricky Seals-Jones waving his hand saying, throw it to me.
I'm saying this is a no-brainer. And if you're picking a bunch of tight ends, then maybe it's going to be the under because I only have one on my list. It is Kadarius Toney. Asshole and all, he's a wide receiver one in the making. And when we're talking about wide receiver ones, we're talking about some of these guys tend to be assholes. I don't think it's going to matter. Daniel Jones is in a contract year, so he's going to have to play his best football to get some money, whether it be from the Giants or somebody else. Kadarius Toney is going to lean heavily on that guy. Last year, he was by far their best offensive player. Going into year two, a full camp under his belt, which he did not have last year, I think Kadarius Toney definitely makes a big leap. Also, the Giants will be down a lot, so they're going to be throwing the ball a lot in the second halves.
Okay, interesting take.
Ricky Seals-Jones will have a better year, though. But I just think Kadarius Toney is going to be a potential
I just feel like when you're getting rushed the way they're rushed, and Daniel Jones is going to be looking for the underneath stuff rather than looking down the field. Seals-Jones is going to be running the crossing routes, very intermediate crossing routes. He's not going to stretch the field by any stretch.
Kadarius Toney will probably line up in the slot more.
Jimmy Palumbo getting involved.
He'll probably line up in the slot more often than not. And I think the Giants' offensive line, while it won't be great, it should be improved. They have some guys now. They made a splash signing, did they not? At tackle, right tackle? Or did they draft? They drafted Evan Neal.
They drafted Evan Neal, and they signed a few other offensive linemen.
Yeah. Let's figure it out.
We don't have to figure it out.
I think though, while Kadarius Toney probably is primed for a very good year, depending on
he'll be suspended by week 4 for conduct detrimental to the team.
I think if Galladay stays healthy, which I think he might.
All he has to do is score one touchdown, and he'll double his touchdown catches from last year.
I think
with the Giants.
I think the Daboll situation, is that how you even say his name?
Yeah,
Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll. If you look what he's done with Buffalo's offense, we'll see. You know, he gets a year with Daniel Jones, and he gets a year to maybe make Kadarius Toney do a little bit of what Stephon Diggs was doing in Buffalo.
Doubtful. As we move on to the Philadelphia Eagles, their breakout star, I'm going to continue my trend here. And we already know the skill set that Dallas Goedert possesses, but now you add A.J. Brown, and the field is going to be opened up a little bit more. Dallas Goedert's probably going to have anywhere from 85 to 95 catches as a tight end this year. That's my bold prediction for him. Jalen Hurts, obviously, look, I don't like the guy, but obviously he's he's getting better at quarterback, and he's a mobile dude, so he can get on the run. Dallas Goedert and him had a good rapport last year. They add one more year to that with camp and stuff. I feel like Goddard's going to have himself a great year, and I wish the Cowboys would have drafted Goedert once upon a time, but that didn't happen. They named him Dallas for the love of God.
I feel like the Eagles have the opportunity for almost every single skilled player on offense to make a leap. I don't know which one's going to make the biggest leap, but their offense is significantly improved. I think they have a decent offensive line if they're healthy, because that's been an issue for them in the past. But outside of their running backs, I don't know what we're going to get out of them. I think Kenneth Gainwell, how I was talking about him all last year. I think Miles Sanders will do just enough to make both of them irrelevant fantasy-wise. I do think Goddard will take a small step forward.
Sanders hurt last year a lot.
Yeah,
that's why Gainwell got his.
It is what it is. And even when he wasn't hurt, Gainwell was pretty much getting a decent amount. That was a realistic split at best.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown in town, if he could stay healthy, his presence just makes everybody else better. Devontae Smith going to do a little bit better.
I think he'll do better
year
too.
In the offense.
Eagles are going to be good on offense. Don't get me wrong.
Jalen Reagor now stepping into the third wide receiver role, which is what he's more suited for.
Sucks.
He's not. Jalen Reagor doesn't cut it as a number 1, but as a number 3, I think Jalen Reagor could be at the very least a James Washington type.
Remember the time that the Eagles drafted Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson?
I do.
I remember that time. That was awesome.
But my guy that I'm picking for this specific thing is because of all the other guys that I mentioned right there. There's one guy at the center of all that, and it's Jalen Hurts. He was already, I think, a top 10.
Maybe top 5. Some Jalen Hurts, man.
I think Jalen Hurts is a lot better than you're giving him credit for over the last.
It's very hard for me to give credit to Jalen Hurts.
Not really.
Yes.
I mean,
it is.
It's
like me saying like Daniel Jones is going to take the next step. He's not.
Well, I feel like
I see him twice a year.
I feel like if you're going to sit and talk sports, then you have an obligation to at least call it.
Told me take the bias out. Let's see how much he rips all over the fucking NFC North.
Well, I sit here. If you ask me who the best receiver in football is, I'm going to put like Justin Jefferson in the top 3. I'm not going to sit here and say he sucks. It's a realistic thing. You got to look at it realistically. I don't.
Okay, and I gave you Dallas Goedert. That's what I give you the tight end because I think that Jalen Hurts is going to be looking for tight end.
Jalen Hurts will have better numbers this year than he did last year because of all the new weapons. Devontae Smith coming into his own. another year with the offense, and the head coach a little more confidence. So it's Jalen Hurts for me.
Yeah, just do yourself a favor, Sirianni. Don't wear a Beat Dallas t-shirt the week of a game, and then we won't beat you by 40 on Monday Night Football. It's all easy.
Stay consistent, do it again,
Yeah,
and
do
one
it
day
again.
you'll
Keep
beat
doing
Dallas.
it. Poke that bear.
The
Go
day of
ahead.
wearing the shirt.
Speaking of my beloved Dallas Cowboys, I'll just say something off the cuff here. I won't. Everybody's gonna be like, well, he's probably gonna say Zeke, or he's gonna say Dak, or he's gonna say the next receiver, or CeeDee Lamb. I'm flipping to the defense, baby. I'm flipping all the way to the defense. And what you're probably thinking is he's going to take Micah Parsons again to have a breakout, which already did. So that wouldn't make any sense, right? I would say DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be back and better than ever this year. He will be. My breakout player for the Dallas Cowboys on the defensive side of the ball is somebody on a 1-year contract because they were literally about to get rid of him. They've been saying that the linebacking core is bad in Dallas. Outside of Parsons, they just didn't know what to do. So they brought back Leighton Vander Esch. Leighton Vander Esch, when they drafted him, he was a fast side-to-side linebacker. He's got some neck issues. When you have neck issues, that's one of those things that'll take you out for years and maybe even your career. This year, this kid's going to right the wrongs, okay? The kid came up playing 8-on-8 football. A lot of open field, okay? So I think Leighton Vander Esch silences a lot of these critics this year as far as the Cowboys linebacking core outside of Parsons. There's going to be no good. I think Vander Esch has a good year, and I'll consider him the breakout player because everybody else on the Cowboys defense right now is legitimately good. The defense is going to be good. Dan Quinn got brought back. I think they're going to be all right. Leighton Vander Esch is my guy. LVE, let's howl.
I think it's
Wolf
clear,
Hunter.
it's fairly clear to me if the Cowboys are going to be better offensively this year, they're going to have to get Tony Pollard involved a little bit more.
Very good, Joe.
So with my obvious opinion on Zeke's steady decline and the way the offense looks with Pollard on the field, I do think that there's a health issue potentially with Pollard being able to actually shoulder more of the load. So I think Zeke is still going to get a lot of carries, but Tony Pollard, I think, has to at least touch the ball 50 more times than he did last year. So I think he touched it 130. His usage, if he gets it 180 times this year, then Tony Pollard's usage and his touchdowns will all
apparently,
go up, and he'll be a flex option. I won't go to the defensive side because I think their defense is really good, and I think even if Vander Esch, I don't think Vander Esch will stay healthy. That's been a problem.
And
if he can, then yes.
If he's on the field,
he will
the
be
guy's
really
a tackling
good.
machine. He reminds me of Sean Lee a lot.
I don't want to say a rookie because he's not technically a breakout player, but I think Jalen Tolbert is going to be the surprise for Dallas's offense.
Hell yes. I interviewed him on draft night.
And Tony
Jalen
Pollard,
Tolbert, shout out to you, dog.
Out of all the players that were on the team, you would expect it to be Tony Pollard, but it might just be CeeDee Lamb with Amari Cooper gone. Is this the year that he makes the leap? We'll find out. It's hard for me to pick one of these guys, but I'm going to go with Tony Pollard because Zeke sucks.
Terrible reason as to why, but the other stuff was really good. So well thought out.
I know I had to fucking poke you a little bit.
The bear has been poked. We have a comment here. When LVE made the third down crucial open field tackle against San Fran, he earned a lot of good grace with me. Years of underperforming left my brain immediately. See, that's what I'm saying. There is hope when there is Leighton Vander Esch on the field and healthy.
So you're telling me an NFL linebacker made a tackle?
Open field tackles are
different
beast.
Wow.
You know that too.
Sign
Stop
him
that.
up.
Let's go with the Washington Redskins football team commanders, Snyders. I'm going to say none. Nobody has a breakout season on the Washington Commanders. I said none. Actually, Daniel Snyder should break out of owning the team. Actually, no. I'm going to say the breakout player this year will be by week 6 when Carson Wentz gets hurt. It'll be Tyler Heineke again. So Heineke will come in and play even better than Carson Wentz was playing before injury. And I'm not rooting for injury. I watch football, and I know this is what happens. Give me Heineke as my breakout player for the Washington Commanders football team, Redskins.
I would love to say Antonio Gibson right now, and it would be a year later on my bold prediction.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not.
Okay, good.
I'm absolutely not. While I do think there is some third-round value, maybe late second-round value at Antonio Gibson this year, I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel. I feel like he's
underutilized last year, man.
Well, he was hurt a lot last year, but if he could stay healthy, I really liked him on that team going into the. Obviously, you guys all know about because Dave doesn't let anybody fucking forget it. I thought Washington was going to be really good last year.
I didn't say it. I was willing to forget it.
They weren't, but this might have something to do with it.
Are you talking about when you predicted them to win 12 games?
I am, but bro, Fitzpatrick got hurt week 1.
This is true. Your prediction went out the window. You and AJ just kumbaya the rest of the year. All right, so that's the NFC.
Anyway, yeah, it's going to be
Go Cowboys.
Curtis Samuel.
All right, moving on. Who's next? NFC North. Okay, let's start with the Packers. I'll start this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one's a very chalky pick, I believe, because of the fact of the exit of one Devontae Adams. I've always been a fan of this guy. I think he's going to do even better this year. It is officially Allen Lazard season, folks. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. Still has the best quarterback in the world throwing him the football. What better situation do you want? Like he's going to be the guy now. As much as they've addressed things in the draft, and did they bring any free agents in as far as receivers? No, right?
Sammy Watkins.
Okay, Watkins in his 400-pound frame. But I would say that Allen Lazard is the guy this year. And again, like I said, when you have the best of the best throwing you the rock, you're going to perform. Give me Lazard.
Yeah, so obviously I knew you would take Lazard because it is the chalk pick. And I do agree Lazard is going to have a leap this season. But he's already been somewhat relevant. So coupling the fact that I kind of expected you to pick Lazard, and I wanted to give the people a little more of a breakdown. I think A.J. Dillon's going to make a leap this year and be a little bit better. But that's going to be barring injury, so I'm not going to pick him.
Oh, right? Yes. Oh, boy.
I'm going to go with probably my most hated player from last season.
Don't tell me.
Amari Rogers.
Yes. Oh, because he couldn't return a punt for shit.
Couldn't catch a punt, but I don't think they'll be asking him to catch punts this year. He's going to inherit a situation where he is going to get every opportunity to take over a true either slot role or number 2 role across Allen Lazard. I think that Watkins might get the job early as the number 2, but he'll play about 4 games and he'll be done for the year. Half man, half a season at best for Sammy Watkins. And
there's
Amari
a lot
Rogers,
of love for Christian Watson in here. A lot in the chat. That's rookie. Got to be careful.
I'm not going to sit here and pick the rookie yet. I think the Packers bring guys along. I think because of the departure of Devontae Adams, everybody's expecting the first round, or in this case, second round pick to step right in. But if you look at the history of the Packers, they don't really give the receiver a shot that early. They make him kind of earn it. And with Rodgers, the veteran that he is and needing things to be precise, I think he needs their guys to get a little more seasoning with the playbook as well, unless he's just a freak athlete. But from what I'm reading, and I don't want to admit this, from what I'm reading so far, it's not like I've seen any of it, is that he might be a little bit of a project where he doesn't get going right away in the season, which is fine. He's a rookie. I'm okay with that. I do think Amari Rogers makes a leap this year.
Kyle coming in. Samari Toure from Nebraska. 7th round pick. Dude's built like T.O. Just wait.
Yeah,
so he's giving you some fluff over there.
Romeo Dubs. There's a couple other guys that
great last
name.
Got
some, great last
name. Great last name. All right, moving on to the Minnesota Vikings. Going back to my tight end roots here. I'm going to go with Irv Smith Jr. To have another great year. The guy's been a very consistent player in the league so far. I think he does it again. They obviously shipped off Rudolph last year, so we knew Irv Smith was going to be the guy. And now a second year where teams are starting to really zero in on Jefferson, and teams are really going to start bumping and running Thielen on the line. You're going to look for that underneath route, and I'll say that until I'm blue in the face. Irv Smith Jr. is an athlete. He's not just a tight end. That boy can ball, and I think that this is the year for him.
Yeah, he's also another one that just gets hurt a lot. So I'm not going to buy on the Irv Smith bandwagon. And there's just a lot of guys. And the guy that I'm going to mention is one guy that I think is coming into his own when Thielen was banged up. I think Thielen was banged up last year. He stepped in. Okay. And KJ Osborne, I think with the league of opportunity, when he gets his, he's going to make plays. And the athletic ability that he's bringing it just adds a crazy wrinkle to that. Like even with Thielen there, him in the slot, it's just a perfect fit. I hate to admit it, KJ Osborne, I really like him as a player.
That offense is going to
me.
Well, the Vikings. Tell you when somebody's
good. I think
good.
KJ Osborne's really good.
Okay,
I think he's going to have.
Who would you like me to say is really good that I didn't say is really good on the NFC East? You want me to get all over the Jalen Hurts train? I'm not going to do it yet. That's all.
I'm not asking. I think Jalen Hurts and Dak is like a very good comparison right now.
I'm going to throw up. All right. Anyway, moving on
to I agree with that one.
Well, I'm sorry.
I said I agree with that.
Who hired this guy?
They're very similar quarterbacks.
They are.
Dak is a beast compared to Jalen Hurts.
Anyway, we'll talk about this maybe on another episode.
All right, moving on to the Lions.
This
is going to be an out of control pick right here. Actually, you go first because I know you're not going to get the same guys as me.
DeAndre Swift.
Okay, well that's very chalky as well. So yes,
but who else is going to do better? Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, there's no way he could duplicate what he did last year. Who's their number 2 receiver?
What about the Quez Watkins? Is he over there?
Not going to work.
Okay,
not going to work out.
TJ Hawkinson.
I think
continue that trend.
Yeah, he's good, but he's already good to me. So I think DeAndre Swift is good, but he's a potentially like top 5 pick in fantasy going into next year. DeAndre Swift this year to me is my AJ or Antonio Gibson.
Okay.
He's my Antonio Gibson this year, where I really think DeAndre Swift is going to ball
I can
out.
almost guarantee that if you polled 100 people right now who will be the breakout star for the Detroit Lions, nobody would say this guy. Give me Riley Patterson. Kicker for the Detroit.
Is that the Crickets?
That is the Crickets. Kicker for the Detroit Lions. They're going to get to the 20, maybe the 30, and they're going to settle for 3. This offense is going to be relatively. They're not. Jared Goff's still not a believer. I know Kyle's a big Goff guy, and there are people out there that are Goff believers. Swift is a good running back, but again, if they get down and dirty in the trenches, it's going to be hard for them to score points. They're cover machines on the gambling aspect of life, but give me their kicker. Some love for the brand, huh? Oof. Shout out to McAfee and the special teams love. How about that? The Crickets. I love it. Moving on to the Bears. Dub Bears. Again, this team, I think, will be in contention for the number 1 overall pick in 2023. That's not a bold take. I just don't see it. Like, yes, they moved on and they're shifting the culture and all that. They didn't do nothing for Justin Fields. They didn't do anything for that defense except for ship guys away. Give me, it's one of the, I think Scoop said it best. All these guys suck. Give me the tight end. Give me Cole Kmet. Give me Cole Kmet as a breakout star for the Bears. But again, what's a breakout for the Bears? They're not even going to break out of the cellar of this division. There's no way that I can get behind the Chicago Bears this year. I just can't. And look, I'm sure there's the Jay Silvas of the world and DJ Mario and even Rube. Rube will probably even admit that they're going to suck, but I'm sure he'll say they're going to win the division by 4 games. But I'm saying like the Bears are going to struggle this year. So give me Cole Kmet, I guess. I don't know. It's rough.
I feel like the chalk pick here would probably be Justin Fields because he played sparingly last year, and now he's going to get an opportunity to have the reins day one. Maybe he has like a Lamar Jackson type year too. I don't see it. I don't think he's a good enough passer. I don't think Lamar's the best passer, but I think Justin Fields is a little bit worse. There is a chance for the Bears. The only chance for the Bears is that Justin Fields is dynamic and completely dynamic, and he's just so good with his legs that it doesn't matter if he could throw the ball or not. I don't see that happening.
I don't even think he has the moxie for that. Like he's got the wheels, he's got the shifty moves. That's fun. But like when he's going to become one of these boohoo guys that gets really upset when things don't go his way.
I think that there's no help for him there, so it's going to be tough. They mortgaged their entire future for him, so there was no draft help. So the Bears have their issues. I do think Justin Fields has the potential athletically to just shock everybody and take the league over in certain aspects with his legs. And then if he's able to do that, then the arm will come. But I think that's going to be a little unlikely with the stacked boxes they're going to be facing. All the stacked boxes is going to open things up for their true number one, or now
Mooney?
their only number one, is Darnell Mooney. I think he's one of the best route runners in the league. He's gotten balls airmailed his entire career so far. It's only been a few years. And part of that was Justin Fields. So he's still got a bad quarterback throwing him the ball. But Darnell Mooney going to get a lot of opportunities. As you said, they're going to be in contention for the 1 pick, probably down in a lot of games. So either way, we both got a pass catcher. I hate Cole Kmet.
Oh, but why?
I hate Cole Kmet. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's going to be a star by any stretch. I think Mooney has a chance. Mooney has a chance to catch like 80, 90 balls this year.
My boy JoJo coming in saying Fields better than Hurts. I can't get behind that one, unfortunately. I think Fields is really bad.
That.
He doesn't believe that, but he is a Cowboys guy after all, so that's okay. All right, moving on over to the NFC South as we take a look at some of these teams that are definitely very interesting picks here. I think they're going to be.
We also haven't had one pick the same so far, so
I did take the under.
Is looking
I took the under.
Real strong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're pretty much.
I know we're going to have the Falcons the same if it's.
All right, well, let's go with the Bucs first. How about we go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Tom Brady is my pick for breaking. No, I'm kidding. But it will be somebody that Tom Brady's throwing to, I guess. Godwin's going to miss some time, I think, with the ACL. Give me Russell Gage. He goes from...
That's one.
Yeah, you get it. Russell Gage is our common
here.
Grounds for the Bucs. Russell Gage goes from Matt Ryan to Tom Brady. Obviously, that's an upgrade there. And again, I think he gets a lot better looks in the early going part of the season where he can catch... Russell Gage is going to be one of those guys. I'll tell you this right now. One of those guys that catch like 5 touchdowns in 4 games or something like that, where they're gonna be like, holy shit, right? This is gonna, and then it's just he's gonna finish with 8 or something like that.
Brady's the type of guy that's gonna spread it around. You're gonna have some dud games from Mike Evans, and then there's gonna be a guy that they didn't focus on and he blows up, that's going to be Gage a lot. But there's going to be also some big time dud games from Gage as well. He's going to have his moments, so for sure.
All right, so we have one similar. I also want to take this time to give a special shout out to the Knicks front office for being as shitty as they are. Jimmy said it would be a good time to mention just how bad the New York Knicks are, and they are. They're very bad. Anyway, moving on to the Aints, the New Orleans Saints. Coming in, obviously, Jameis Winston also just put out a new video. I'm sure you saw it first, Gooch. You have the bell on his Instagram page where every time there is an update, you see it first. What the fuck? Bro, that was I understand the logic and understand what it does, but it's dumb. Do you understand something?
Is it dumb?
No, it's not dumb. He's
It's
working
fucking
out.
great. It's absolutely great. Functional training. What is a bench press going to do in real life for Jameis Winston? Like, what is it? What's the practicality for him to bench a bunch of weight? He's doing like
Arm strength?
I mean, not.
I don't know.
He's a quarterback. He doesn't need to be benching.
But what I'm saying is
heavy.
You know,
That's
it's funny.
That's a great
Nobody
workout.
else.
Balance, everything.
Nobody
Core.
else in the league does what Jameis Winston does, right? We all know. Listen, Jameis, you got the job already, bro. You don't have to tell everybody that you're putting in all the work. We get it. You're doing it, but your fucking videos are cringeworthy, dude.
Bro,
I'm sorry. They're so bad.
He's an NFL athlete.
I
and
get
he
it, but
posts
you
on
see-
Instagram that he's working out. You post that you're working out.
I'm
Everybody
just a
does
guy.
it.
I'm nobody. I was promoting my boy Kingdom at his gym.
And he's promoting his
Yeah.
the
All
dubs.
right.
How does he do it? He does the dubs.
Oh my God. Anyway. So
Gotta
who's your
love some
saint?
Jameis. You know it's Jameis
It's
Winston,
Jameis.
bro. Come on now.
So, all right. So you get Jameis Winston. I'm going to take somebody that might wind up stealing a lot of yards on the ground. And it's not Mark Ingram, and it sure as shit ain't Alvin Kamara because he might get suspended for 6 games after all that stuff that they went through in Vegas. Give me Tony Jones Jr. to put himself on the map this year for the New Orleans Saints. All right. He's the 3rd running back right now. Mark Ingram is obviously who he is. Everybody knows who Mark Ingram is at this point. And with Kamara's looming suspension, you would assume if he gets away with that, by the way, like, holy shit.
No, he's not.
He's definitely not. Right. So my pick is safe with Tony Jones Jr. I think he runs the rock very well. We saw glimpses of it last year. This year, he'll get the ball a lot more.
I think that's a good pick, but I'm not going to do Jameis like that. So,
Casey Hammond coming in. Jameis Winston is a low-key American treasure. Some of the things he does are unintentional, high comedy. Homeboy is Andy Kaufman, and he doesn't even know it. Love it. Moving on over to
and Jameis, never stop posting your workouts, bro.
yeah, keep going, bro.
Keep it up.
These are very
Keep it
highly
up.
entertaining stuff. To the Panthers, I'm going to flip over to the defensive side of the ball here. I'm going to say J.C. Horn. He's battling back this year. He had a couple injuries last year, or no, just one. I think one specific one that really damaged his rookie campaign. But J.C. Horn's my guy. Like I said, it's hard for me to be like, oh, Christian McCaffrey or whoever the fuck plays quarterback for these guys this year. I don't know. So I'm going to stay away from the offense, keep pounding on defense. These guys were the number 1 defense for about, 4 weeks last year. So continue that trend. J.C. Horn has himself a year-ish. Sort
It's
of.
a tough one for me on this one. Probably can I say Baker or Jimmy G? Right.
So
Like
one of the unknown
whoever the starting
quarterbacks
quarterback
right
is for the Panthers that's not on the roster right now, or is it? Did they get Matt Corral?
Yep.
now. They did.
I feel like he's going to start.
Yeah, I think once Darnold screws up once or twice, they're just
Yeah, as a
gonna be like,
short leash.
But he's
or
a
whatever,
rookie, so
Sammy.
I'm not gonna pick a rookie quarterback from this brutal draft class. I'll just pick the backup running back, whoever that ends up being in camp. They had one last year.
Didn't they have
that's
Chuba Hubbard?
Chuba Hubbard?
Chuba Hubbard,
Hubbard.
breakout
Chuba
player for
First of all,
for the Panthers.
For you
might
not
as
to
well
pronounce
draft
your
him
name
third
Chuba
overall.
is very, it's malpractice at this
Chuba.
point. I know, but he should be Chuba Hubbard.
So
It-
you might
that-
as well just draft. When is McCaffrey getting projected? 3rd overall. I think that you could safely pick Chuba Hubbard with like the 13th pick.
I'll be the first one to tell you avoid Christian McCaffrey at all costs.
Yeah, no, you're not the first one. You're about the millionth one to say
Chuba.
avoid him.
Breakout play
All
for
right.
the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard.
We got the same Falcon. Kyle Pitts?
Yeah.
All right. So that's that. Marcus Mariota has to throw to somebody. Kyle Pitts is the guy.
I think Mariota's thrown 31 passes in the last 3 years combined. So
Yeah. So and Kyle Pitts, look, he's shown a lot of flashes of what he can do. A couple of those games last year were just incredible. And I think Kyle Pitts just continues that trend. New quarterback, a little bit more on the mobile side, Mariota. So maybe things can open up a little bit more, different routes, rather than just your standard drop back passer like Matt Ryan. So give me Pitts to have a better year than he did last year. No sophomore slumps there. He does well. I think he does well.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, you're just seeing him at the tight end university and him standing next to his peers, and he looks like the best tight end in the group. He's not, but he looks like he's the best tight end in the group.
AJ's got a high key sucked. No, he was talking about Chuba Hubbard, but he also said Donta Foreman is over there in Carolina.
That's why I said whoever wins the
You did say backup running back. So by default, you win that one. So we'll go back in time at the end of the year and be like, well, I told you the backup running back was going to be good. All right. So we're in lockstep.
For the Falcons, not to cut you guys off, but
you did.
I think Ritter might be a serious contention for a breakout player.
You think he's going to start right away?
I think that Mariota's just made of glass when he's gotten the opportunity. He's always been hurt. Maybe. I just have a hard time picking a rookie quarterback from this class. It's just tough. There's none of them really jump out at me, but I'm also not a fucking scout. So
Scoop came in and said Calvin Ridley breakout. And then Bailey responded, breakout of what? DraftKings? Love it. All right, moving on over to the NFC West. We'll start with the 49ers. Again, the team that bounced the Cowboys in the first round last year and then bounced the Packers the following week. So we don't like the 49ers around these parts right now. But I will say that despite the fact that there was all these speculation that Debo was on his way out, I still think we're like 3 weeks away from training camp. I don't see Debo going anywhere else unless there's legitimate breaking stuff that happens. Debo Samuel there to stay. I do like the emergence last year of Brandon Ayuk. I think this kid's going to be even better this year. Give me Trey Lance as his quarterback, which everybody seems to be pointing that that's the thing. So new quarterback, new system. Give me Ayuk to have another really good year.
It's Trey Lance by default for me because he didn't start last year, and now they mortgaged a lot to get him, and now they're letting Jimmy G go in a roundabout way. We'll see how that plays out, but nonetheless,
still haven't done it.
Nonetheless, Trey Lance is going to be the starter week 1, and I don't see how running with that system and that offense, how you can't pick Trey Lance. He's going to run the shit out of the football, and he's got a cannon for an arm. If he makes even slightly decent decisions, which I think he will in the dumbed down version of the offense that they might roll out for him in the beginning, Shanahan's very good with keeping things simple for his young quarterback. And I think Trey Lance might have a very Jalen Hurts type season that he had last year.
Okay. Yeah. Stat heavy.
Yeah, he's going to have some rushing yards,
many games,
rushing touchdowns.
Then again, I don't know.
The 49ers are going to win some football games this year.
It's the one guy that I just don't know anything about. Like, you normally hear these things and have sample sizes, and like they had some packages for Trey Lance last year, but it just didn't seem like that was enough for me to be like, that's the guy.
The reason why it's because we're not in the position to make that decision.
I understand.
And because the 49ers brain trust has been typically really good at making decisions in this regard. They really have been. So because 49ers make good decisions typically, especially this regime with Lynch, and they're not just coming off of Jimmy G because they need to get rid of him. Like, they make smart, sound decisions. And for them to move off of Jimmy G when they were a couple plays away from playing in the Super Bowl again with Jimmy G, who's made a Super Bowl with them under this regime, for them to move on, that's where I get my confidence from, because I don't know enough about Trey Lance either. But I did see a couple plays last year in the limited time where he threw the ball like 70 yards in air for a touchdown.
Yeah, but every quarterback should be able to do that at this point.
Yeah, you know who can't? Jimmy G. So
truth.
He makes things better, and he's able to do things at the very least, if they dumb down the offense the way they had it for Jimmy G, where there's no deep balls and there's no extra.
Well, when you have a web back or whatever the hell you want to call him, like Debo, you don't have to throw deep.
Well,
the guy can just make some space.
They still do have Debo as of now, but at the very least, if you do that hand off the ball a lot, do all this small intermediate routes, hit your tight end, hit your slants, right? They ask him to do that, but then he's also able to run, which is what Jimmy G wasn't able to do. So I think Trey Lance makes them just a way more dangerous offense. We'll see how the win totals play out.
I want to see how fast. My boy Greg buys a lot of jerseys. I want to see how fast he buys the Trey Lance.
Probably already has one.
I don't think so. I think his last jersey he bought was Jimmy G, as a matter of fact. He did. He had a Steve Young jersey back in high school, bro. This thing was definitely too small for him. It was like a belly shirt. We always said it. The Steve Young belly shirt. Shout out to you, Greg. All right, so here come the Rams, right? Defending Super Bowl chumps. So they're going to come out there and they're going to keep throwing the ball. They're going to keep running the ball. And they got a lot of great talent on offense and defense. So it's hard to pick one guy that's going to break out. If I had to choose, I'm going to go with the receiving core, and it's not your typical, oh, we signed A-Rob, so he's going to have a great year. And we kind of know that already. We kind of know that Cooper Kupp is one of the best, if not the best receiver in football. But give me Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson is the guy that we talked about last year. He was actually inserted in some fantasy lineups. I know my dad started him a couple times. Like, he was on the come up. And I feel like you added Allen Robinson and don't have Odell right now. I think that even bodes better for a guy like Van Jefferson. Give me Van Jefferson and have another breakout year. I say another because I feel like last year he did break out a little bit. Give me another breakout year for Van Jefferson.
I think Van Jefferson will vault up my list if Odell doesn't ultimately sign with the Rams, which I believe he's going to. So I think it's going to relegate Van Jefferson down to like 4th on the depth chart. But I'm going with my guy. I invested heavily in him in a dynasty league last year. He came back on like 6 weeks from a torn Achilles, and Cam Akers has to be the breakout. If he gets the job week one, he hasn't really had a chance to be the guy from week one on without an injury. On this team, the way they're going to use him, I can't see him not being RB1 if he's healthy at the end of the season.
Just to specify to Ken Paulman, I called him a web, W-E-B back, not a wet back. I called him a web back.
Web
for the love of
back.
God. Anyway, so give me Van Jefferson. He's going to go Akers. 2 teams to go. The Seattle Seahawks, which I believe will be right there with the Bears when it comes to number 1 overall pick, unless Geno has this fantastic year or Drew Lock comes in and saves the day. It's hard for me to pick anybody in the offense or the defense. This team looks to be pretty bad. You lose Russ Wilson and do nothing to kind of remedy that. And then I feel bad for guys like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. They're wasting their years away. I would say the tight end again. And usually you would think of Noah Fant. I'm going Will Dissly. Give me the second tight end for Geno Smith. The second tight end, Will Dissly, will have a breakout season and take the job over Noah Fant, who they traded for Russell Wilson.
There's a 0% chance that Will Dissly beats out Noah Fant for the starting tight end job.
Have you seen Will Dissly work?
I don't give a shit.
He's
Noah Fant,
really
they
good.
Invested a lot for Noah Fant. He's starting.
They didn't
Noah
really
Fant
invest
was
a lot.
also a fantastic tight end.
Yeah, and he's like
Denver.
really good.
I'm well aware of who Noah Fant is. I'm just saying.
Anyway, it really is tough. I think Rashad Penny is listed as a starter right now. We've seen enough of him to understand that he's not going to get it done. Chris Carson, while he's a bionic workout artist, he can't get it done on the field either because he's injured all the time. Probably because of
somebody.
I think Ken Walker III is going to be their starter, and by default, because he's going to get 240 carries this year as opposed to maybe the 10 that he's gotten in his life. Breakout player Will Dissly might be cut. All right.
Can you imagine? There should be a rule that if one of our breakout
Dissly
players
get
gets cut,
he might not make the roster.
he's
And
definitely making the roster. He's a Seattle-born bred
Geno
guy.
Smith. I think
Talk
Geno
to him,
Smith
Bailey.
wins that job. Geno Smith wins that job.
That's
my
so
prediction.
unfortunate for Drew Lock.
I think Drew Lock wins.
You
I
think
think
Drew
so,
Lock
too.
wins because you've seen Geno suck as a starter, but I saw Geno come in last year and play really well.
He
in
lit him
sparing
up.
time.
He did okay.
He knows the system. And what have you seen out of Drew Lock that makes you think he's good, other than the fact that you haven't seen enough of Drew Lock?
Guy can rap.
Right? He's got some swag on the sideline, maybe. But look, Drew Lock, I got to see a lot more. Everyone's like, he reminds me of Brett Favre. Which version?
I'm not going as far as that. I just think with him,
Drew Lock.
new place, new city,
I love Drew Lock. I'm a big Drew Lock guy.
And he's got a lot of help, at least, so he'll succeed if he does get the job.
I think any of those receivers, they're begging for somebody else to be there. And so I don't know what the draft class looks like next year as far as quarterbacks are
much
concerned.
better.
Yeah, you would have to assume better than this year. And I think the Seattle Seahawks will be in prime contention to grab the best quarterback available, because if the Bears suck, they're not drafting a quarterback, right? You would think. So I think the Seattle Seahawks have their guy in mind, and he's not there yet. Let's wrap it up.
Final team.
The Cardinals.
I could pick a guy that I think you're going to pick just to hit the over.
Let's recap here. You're definitely not going to pick my guy, but
it's not Rondell Moore.
It is not Rondell.
It's not my
Moore.
guy. Okay.
All right.
If
So
you're going defensive side of the ball?
I am going defensive side.
I'm not. So
all right. So
you
there.
win.
So I won on the under. I told you I was going to be good. With that bet at least. All right. So Cardinals, you're not going Rondell Moore. Who are you going with on the offense?
I'm going Benjamin Eno. They got rid of Chase. Was it Chase Edmonds? Yes, Chase Edmonds was
They have James Conner.
Yeah, but they had James Conner last year. James Conner last year,
Touchdown machine.
I think is going to have a hard time replicating what he did last year, right? He's largely been a guy that has gotten hurt often in his career, and coming off of a career year with the usage that he had, I think a regression is in order. And with Chase Edmonds leaving town, Ben Eno is taking over as that guy. So he's going to get some opportunities over there. I think it makes sense that he's going to be a breakout. He's going to be used in fantasy. That's all I'll say. Keep Benjamin Eno on your radar.
All right. There's a guy on the defensive side of the ball to keep on your radar as well. Drafted very, very short time ago. My boy Brett Ernst wanted and politic for this guy for the Dallas Cowboys. Linebacker Zaven Collins. Last year, flashes of good. This year, he's going to be flashes of great. This guy is very fast. Great open field tackler, just up and down the field easily with ease. Sheds blocks, very good. He's just a very good linebacker, and you're about to see all of that shit on display this year for the Cardinals. They're going to need some defensive play help because I feel like their offense will struggle a little bit in the first couple of weeks without DeAndre Hopkins. I understand Hollywood Brown is there. I understand, and everybody loves Rondell Moore, and now the running backs are being talked about, but I think that the Cardinals offense will struggle a little bit in the early going, so their defense is going to have to step up. That's my pick.
Just wait. AJ Green's gonna.
Oh, stop with the AJ
out.
Green
AJ
shit. He's like
Green's
47 years
out.
old.
Him and Zeke, bro.
You better.
You with Zeke
better
and you
stop.
with AJ Green.
Oh, I thought you meant like, are you like comparing
Maybe Donald
the two?
Driver will come back.
There you go. If anything, you'd want Jordy back. If you had to choose right now, bring back Driver or Jordy, who'd you want?
Like for their prime?
Yes.
Not even close, Jordy. What? Yeah.
I'm asking.
The
Jordan
question.
Nelson was
Jordy
amazing
was
as a
way
Packer
better
receiver.
peak than Driver. Driver was just consistent.
Let's see. Bailey coming in saying Seahawks are very low on Fant right now. Opening that door for Mr. Will Dissly. I believe somebody called me a tight end dick rider. That would be
they're very low.
that would be
on
Casey
Fant.
Hammond. Thank you very much.
How
Low hanging fruit. Will
You-
Dissly to the Pro Bowl.
So I'm not to question Bailey's info, but who said that?
I don't know. They probably got
Did
some beat writers out there.
The coaches are like, oh, we saw this guy for all of 3 hours of practice. We weren't allowed to actually practice though because the NFL rules, and we don't really like.
Not
him.
if you're Mike
It's
McCarthy. we
based
hit.
on what? Based on the success that he's had, like actually playing in the league. He's your best player. He's like he's your third best player. Relax, Seattle.
Seriously.
Seriously, he's their third best player. I looked at their roster. Noah Fant.
Will
Backup tight end.
Will
I also
third
looked
best
at
player.
their
to the
roster.
fucking moon, baby. All right. That is the NFC in a nutshell. Today, me and Gooch are going to sit down. We're going to iron out what we got going on for the rest of this month and next, because before you know it, I know this is crazy, but in 3 weeks' time, almost from now, will be the start of NFL training camp. So we are there, folks.
Yeah,
we
I
are
think
right
we're,
there.
we're definitely between 70 and 80 days away. I think our math was a little off yesterday,
I
but
believe
we're
so,
very,
too.
very close to the NFL season actually being a real thing. And fuck the preseason, fuck the Hall of Fame game. I say that with conviction. We are here for week one and week one
Oh,
only.
man.
And fantasy draft season is officially upon us. Trust me, I've been doing mocks already.
Oh, are we going to do the magazine thing? Because I think that was a really good idea.
I need somebody to sponsor me for this YouTube video that I'm going to do. I need somebody to buy every single fantasy football magazine and send them to 750 NJ 34 Matawan, New Jersey, so I could do it.
07747.
Yeah, no, I was looking. It's going to cost like $100 to make a video.
Is there really that many magazines? No, there's like 5.
Right?
Right?
Because they just say all the same shit.
See,
and
that's
Well, they
not
don't.
true.
One though.
They
That's-
don't.
that
That's
is
what the
not true.
video premise
And
was
this is
going
the
to be.
video premise, which I'll tease it. I don't know if I'm going to do it for this season. It'll probably be next, knowing me. But getting, all 5 fantasy, all 5, the only 5 that are in the world, fantasy magazines, and there's more than 5. And breaking down which one's the best, right? So anyway, we'll discuss it.
I think
It's
it's
going
a
to be
good
like
idea.
$70. I don't care that
I mean,
much.
also next month you got the nice NHL draft coming up on Thursday, July 7th.
And with that, we're going to end the show on a high note by, I don't know, give me something else after the NHL draft. Give me something.
Wow.
Something. Yankees are going to beat the A's again.
Oh,
How about
the
that?
suspensions were doled out for that wild brawl.
I
that
didn't
we,
see
that
the
we
damn thing.
brushed
You
over the
I
other
didn't
day
really
or
watch it
yesterday
all.
because the
This guy
barbecue
really
and
got excited
everything,
about it.
bro. It was such a great brawl.
Didn't
There wasn't really many punches landed, but there was some good ones underneath from Jesse Winker, who is definitely vaulted up the top. Of my favorite player list.
Former regular at the Chop Studios, Jimmy Palumbo, saying no JP show drop. Well, you can blame your stupid, non-existent production team over at Undefeated Media. They didn't send anything to Chris, so he can't post anything.
I don't have
Shut your mouth.
I don't have any link to the audio yet.
Bum, bum, bum.
But
Green
in
Giant.
that-
Anyway.
In that brawl, though, didn't somebody
Love your
shot
show,
put a
though.
cooler?
Say what?
Didn't somebody throw a cooler?
Yes, bro. And it was full of
Of
sunflower
sunflower
seeds.
seeds.
So it just went
Bro, it was
into the night.
It was more intense than just the sunflower
I didn't see
seeds.
anything else.
Although
other than
that was, and I use John Boy's quote, a work of art when they slow mode that. And
It really was.
bro. It was amazing.
Bro, first
the best,
of all,
the best was that he took the gum and he threw the gum onto the field and it scattered everywhere. And then you had like the Angels players scooping it up, and it was all after this.
I gotta see that.
Then like this was after
This is all the breakdown for John Boy?
yeah. So
I have to
this
see
this
this.
guy that threw the gum, he was a relief pitcher, and the entire time that the brawl was happening, he was trying to break it up. And then when they were doling out the ejections, he got ejected, and that's when he flipped out.
Okay.
So he flipped out on the umpires, and Jesse Winker, who's in the other dugout, thought he was flipping out on them. This is after the dust settled, and I'm talking about a 15-minute.
Dude, what
dust
did I
up,
miss?
right?
What day was this?
This was after the dust settled, 15-minute dust up, and Jesse Winker runs out of the dugout again, thinking that he was talking shit to him, but he was talking to the umps, and it was like, oh.
round 2. Fight.
It was after all
Bang!
that craziness, flipping off the fans, you name it, Jesse Winker did it. He says he wishes he had that one back. I'm here for you, buddy. We don't mind that one bit.
That
We
is
don't mind
actually
that one bit.
highly entertaining stuff coming from Winkler. I think that was that part of it. When I saw that part of it, that was
Also,
great.
Phil Nevin, douchebag.
Former Yankee.
Former Padre,
that guy.
former Yankee. Yeah, but
One of-
he's
one of those-
What did he do now?
He basically started the whole thing. Although the pitching.
Can you give me the root of all this?
Yes. So
What was the-
2 weeks ago, Lorenzen hit Justin Upton in the head. Justin Upton got
Bastard.
hit in the head, but I think Lorenzen had some things to say about the balls that were being used, and it was a slippery ball. The Mariners didn't really react to it, but 2 days ago, Mike Trout got buzzed, or they had a meeting on the mound. The first pitch, Trout gets buzzed. Second pitch, like really went for his head, and he didn't
Wait a
get
minute,
hit.
back-to-back pitches?
Back-to-back pitches.
See, that's
Nothing happened.
grounds
so,
to die.
so this was at the end of the game. The Mariners end up winning that game, right? They dance on the field. At the end of that game, Phil Nevin's standing at the top of the dugout, and he's letting him know just what he's going to do tomorrow, right? He's not even the manager, I don't think. I think
no,
just
he's
the
not,
coach.
but that's fantastic.
But
How
he's
do you say,
basic-
how was he a douche? This is amazing.
Because I'll tell you why. I love what he did and makes the fight. I like that, but I think that a guy like him, it's like the players will take care of it. He made it a lot about him. And then when Jesse Winker grilled him after, bro, like it was weird because he got like a one-on-one with the guy, right? And even the Angels pitcher was like, bro, my bad. I had to hit you. He was like, what the fuck do you mean you had to hit me? Right. And then the Angels pitcher was basically saying,
I love
like,
you. I'm sorry.
I was put in the game, bro. They announced before the game that they were like, oh, we're switching to an opener. So it was like clearly obvious
Oh my
that they were
God.
coming for war in that
I
game.
love it.
And Winker had got in Nevin's face at the end, and Nevin treated it like he was an umpire. Like Nevin was now the umpire, and he just took his medicine. He had nothing to say back. If he was really that angry, then you should have fought him. I know you're a coach.
Bailey was
but-
at the Lorenzen got tagged game. He was there. He was there for that. Yeah, and Ken Paulman had no idea that he lived in Seattle. So that's funny. It's like, how the
But,
fuck were you there?
no.
Great. What?
Oh, I was just say. Then I think the funniest thing in all of this is that Anthony Rendon, who's out for the season,
Yeah,
gets suspended for 5
throwing
games.
bows with a cast.
No.
He's out there with a cast, and he
God
actually
damn,
he was
how
the
did I
first
miss all
one. He was the
this?
first one that actually. It wasn't a punch, but he definitely mushed
With a cast on?
with a cast on. Yeah, Winker.
Bob Orton made a career
And
out of
Tepera-
beating people with a
Tepera,
cast
The
on.
Angels pitcher Ronald Tepera, I think he definitely caught the worst end of it out of everybody out there. And then at the end, there was another skirmish, and he was trying to get back into the skirmish, but he really wasn't. Like he really, really wasn't. He got his soul took by Jesse Winker. Anyway, that's their show, ladies and gentlemen. We closed it on a great note.
We closed that on a great note.
It
'cause
wasn't the
that
hockey
is
draft.
amazing. I'm going to watch as soon as this show ends. I'm going to actually watch that John Boy breakdown. He does a great job of that. John Boy's been killing it. I mean, we know this already, and he's got funds out the ass now, which is great for him and his brand. But he also keeps putting the money ball. He keeps mixing money ball in with some of these Yankee walk-offs. Dude, what a... I got to learn this shit. Kyle, I need another lesson. No. All right. Anyway, that's been a show. We hope you guys enjoyed. Please like the video while you're here. If you're not here, come back and like the video to do us a favor. That would definitely help us out with the algorithms, and YouTube is, it's a very tough scene out there. So we definitely need the help. We got ourselves another busy day. I do want to shout out Curtis Sells Houses. He came in yesterday. Part of our bigger plan is to help him out as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on here at Chop Sports. We want to thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff. New Jimmy Palumbo episode will drop later on today, so be sure to download that. You can download the new Chop Sports Fight Factory. That's already out there because I download that right away and I edit it right away. Something production team should do. For Sturch and Gooch and, of course, Nick, this has been another episode of the Chop Sports Daily. We'll see y'all tomorrow. That was a stab at the other